What's going on? Hope you guys are doing fantastic. In this video, I want to keep it brief or not. It's gonna kind of be raw. I have three things I want to talk about, and these are the three things that I've noticed that held me back in the past, and I've also seen that held other people in the past as well. After being able to see it for myself and then seeing it happen for other people, I can confidently say that these are three big things a lot of people struggle with to be able to prosper, move forward, improve, reach their goals, things like that. Um, the first one I will have to say is self dishonesty. Now let's break that down. What is self dishonesty? Self dishonesty is during adversity when things are going bad and you know you're supposed to be doing something, you know what you're supposed to be doing to get to where you want to be, and you do the opposite. And instead of facing the truth that you didn't do it out of avoidance, you make an excuse. And the problem with that is you're running away from your problems. You're running away from the feeling of shame. You're running away from the feeling of guilt that you didn't do what you said you would do. You're breaking trust with yourself. And then you make an excuse to pad up that trust or pad up that trust to the people around you. And the problem with that is your body starts to recognize, okay, whenever I make an excuse, I don't have to face this painful feeling of me knowing that I'm choosing to fail right now. I'm choosing to be a failure, right? But that's never going to get you anywhere, because whenever you decide to step back up and whenever you decide to get back on the saddle and try to take the steps to reach your goal, the only thing you'll know to do is making that excuse and running away when things get hard again. And this is one of the biggest things that I dealt with for a while, because when things got hard, I made excuses. If you have a finger to point at something or someone else, then it doesn't get pointed at you. It's less painful. But the truth is, if you avoid doing something you know you're supposed to do, honesty is the only way to actually learn from it. Because you need to be honest with yourself. Yes, I did avoid doing what I was supposed to be doing. I did avoid going to the gym today. I did avoid eating the diet that I was supposed to. I did avoid doing the sales or the business task or the outreach because I was afraid, because I didn't feel like it. You have to admit the brutal truth, and you have to. This is one thing I learned. If you right now aren't where you want to be in life, you need to accept that you aren't where you want to be in life right now, and you aren't the type of person to be able to get where you want to be right now. But at least by accepting that, you know there's things you can work on, and there's nothing wrong with um, having things you need to work on. Nobody's perfect, right? And believing that you are perfect is the very thing keeping you from growing. And that leads into my second point, which is arrogance and an unhealthy ego, right? I think having a big ego is actually a net positive if you don't let your ego consume you. If you can detach from your ego and live from a place of presence and peace. And I'm not talking about in an ego sense where you think you're better than everyone. You think this, you think that. I'm talking about in the strong ego of, you know, you can do it. You know you can do whatever you want to do. You know you can get it done. You have this unfathomable self-belief that nothing will stop you, and it's you versus you. That's a healthy ego. Now an unhealthy ego and arrogance is believing you can get to where you want to get to while being the same exact person you are. The person you are only got you as far as where you got. And one thing I see a lot, and one thing I dealt with myself, was arrogance and unhealthy ego. I thought I had it all. I thought everything I did was perfect. My way was perfect. And I wasn't going to change to get what I wanted. Right? And that's an unhealthy and arrogance. That caused me to not seek help, not try to educate myself, because I thought I knew everything. And where did that lead me? In the same rotting cycle of constant ego and arrogance. And I see that happening with people around all the time. They can't, they, if they get criticized, they can't take it. They think what they have, they think their method is the perfect. But when what they can't face, this also ties into dishonesty, they can't face the honest reality of where they're currently at right now with their arrogance, with an unhealthy ego. So you have to drop your ego. You have to be the smallest person in the room. You have to be the one to listen. You have to have The mentality of you knowing absolutely nothing. Always listening, always learning, always opening an ear to a perspective from anyone and everyone. This is something that there's still parts of me that still struggle with this sometimes. Like I still have the urge to speak my word, right? But I'm getting better at it. But that's one of the bigger things as well that I had to overcome to be able to grow, which was recognizing that no, you need to be the smallest person in the room and you need to listen to everyone, whether you're listening to know what not to do or listening to implement the things that people know better than you into your own life, into your own business and things like that. Is put your ego aside and be willing to learn, be willing to accept that you are not that guy right now and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Because that guy, even he knows he's not that guy, but it's also okay. He's always looking to grow. He's always looking to learn. He's always looking for better ways to get better or avoid things, right? That's the second thing. Now, the third thing and the most important thing that was holding me back is not having a relationship with God. And when I say relationship with God, I'm not talking about in the biblical sense where you have to go to church and you have to pray 10 times a day and do all this stuff, right? I'm talking about relationship with God in stillness, in silence, in consciousness, in being present. How I view God is like all being consciousness, the force permeating through all things. We are all interconnected with consciousness. That's my belief, right? And deep down, with that's essentially God is like our true selves, the interconnected, the infinite intelligence, pretty much. And in today's day and age in life, we can get so easily distracted by the things that are going on, pendulums or things sucking away your energy, politics, red versus blue, right versus left, freaking pornography, all these distractions, social media, what's going on with this celebrity, things like that, to where people are so incorporated with just the material world that they never actually have even time to sit in silence and really listen to the things around them, their own thoughts, to be able to reflect and see how things actually are. And that's how I define this: having a relationship with God is through stillness, through silence. And through that you learn a lot about yourself. You learn about the things that your true self or God is trying to tell you of what the things you need to do to get to where you want to be. The things that you've been avoiding. You just have to trust in your true self. In other words, trust in God, that everything will be fine as long as you take action. Everything will be fine as long as you believe and you prosper and you have faith in the process. But those are the three main things that have held me back. So number one is self-dishonesty. Not being honest with yourself. Always admitting the truth to everything, to yourself and to people around you, right? How you do one thing is how you do everything. If you lie to yourself, then more than likely you are also lying to other people as well, to make yourself feel better, to protect yourself from your insecurities, right? And you can't grow if you can't see the truth. You can't grow if if you're trying to pick oranges and you're in an orange farm, but you're wearing glasses that turns everything orange into red and looks like apples, you're never going to see reality for what it is. And that's basically lying to yourself. You got to take off those glasses, see reality for what it is, how uncomfortable it is, and that's how you will grow. You can't grow from a foundation of where you don't even know what the foundation is. That's the first one. Second one is arrogance and unhealthy ego. You need to be able to step back. You need to be able to be a student in all crafts, a student of knowing what to do and what not to do. Even from the people that don't know as much as you, the people that are failing and struggling, you can still learn from them. You can still learn what not to do. If you don't want to be in the position they're in, then you learn, okay, this person did this, this, and this, and that. I don't want to be there, so that's a lesson for me not to do whatever they're doing. And you learn what to do. You listen to the people who are where you want to be, and you listen to their mindset, their strategies, things like that. Business and life and health, wealth, relationships. You're like, well, I want to be where he is. Let me actually learn from this. Let me see how he manages through life, what he's going to teach me and tell me. Take in that. You never want to be picking sides. You always want to be neutral. You want to be absorbing stuff consciously, right? You don't want to be programmed by other people. You want to be consciously absorbing stuff so you can analyze it, you can input it into your own life. And the third one is not having a relationship with God. So those are the three things that held me back in my growth. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, leave a comment, subscribe. Peace.